هم البشرى في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We begin in the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, and we also begin by sending our durood and peace and blessings and salutations upon our beloved messenger Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. My dear respected brothers and elders, as an addition to the quote and the advice of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, in which he had mentioned, as I shared with you last Thursday, that he rahimahullah mentions that I have not eaten until a full stomach for 16 years. Now, Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala said that the people in the early period of this nation, meaning of the ummah in general, did not have lunch or dinner. Did not have basically access to lunch and dinner. Now, you know, Islam has become the world's superpower, and the Muslims have been blessed with a lot of gifts, a lot of easiness, and a lot of facilities. The Muslims have control over the vast majority of the land. They have, they're producing agriculture and etc. Their country is being blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now Imam Malik rahimahullah said that the people in the early period of this nation did not have lunch or dinner. Meaning these words did exist at that time, but they did not have easy access towards food as we do. And he's mentioning this 1300 something years ago. He's mentioning this over 1,000 years ago. Now, Imam Malik rahimahullah said that if they found something to eat, they would eat it. Otherwise, they would go about their day without complaining. They would just spend the day without worrying about food, but somehow, one way or another, Allah Azza wa Jalla would facilitate that rizq for them. Why? Because they had the firm belief in the verse of the Quran in which Allah says, وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا, that each and every single living being, human, animals, regardless of your species, as long as you are a living being, Allah says, عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا, that the rizq will be given to them by Allah Azza wa Jal, and it is Allah's responsibility. It is Allah Azza wa Jall's responsibility. So they had no tension of rizq. They knew it's coming. But when will it come? They would leave that to the decision of Allah Azza wa Jal, and they would work hard and strive hard in order to attain that rizq. Now, Ibn Rushd rahimahullah ta'ala writes that lunch and dinner represent the ultimate luxury that a human being can have in this dunya. In other words, if you have been given access and unrestricted access, and you have been blessed with lunch and dinner, Ibn Rushd rahimahullah ta'ala says that know that Allah Azza wa Jal has given you the ultimate luxury in this dunya, in this very same world. And he proves that from the Quran. And he mentions about the dwellers of Jannah, the verse in which Allah mentions, وَلَهُمْ رِزْقُهُمْ فِيهَا بُكْرَةً وَعَشِيًّا, that for the dwellers of Jannah, they will have easy access and unrestricted access to what? To lunch and dinner. Whenever they want to have lunch, they will be able to have it. Whenever they want to have dinner, they will be able to have it. If nothing is cooked at home, what do? Just step outside. Here on Hillside Avenue, there's so many restaurants. If nothing is cooked, we cannot travel outside. Within a click of a button, the delivery man will deliver the food in front of the house. Uber Eats, right? So we have unrestricted access, and these are blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal that you and I, unfortunately, in today's time and era, do not even deem them to be the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal. So a person has to be grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. And this was the advice of Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala. Now, my brothers and elders, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the food of two is sufficient for three. And then he says that the food of three is actually sufficient for four, and the food of four is sufficient for eight. Rawahu Muslim. In other words, don't let greediness take over you. that when you sit on the dining table, that you think that everything is yours. In other words, share. And many of the times, it is not our stomachs that are hungry. It's just the greed in our eyes, right? In the month of Ramadan, we realize that throughout the entire day, we're thinking about food, that I'm going to eat this, I'm going to munch on this. But when food is actually presented in front of us, we cannot even finish half of what is given to us. It's just our eyes and the mindset that we have that we're actually hungry, because we're not used to go about spending days and days and hours without eating food. So our brothers and sisters in Gaza, for 4 or 5 days they do not eat. Let's remember them. For days and days they do not eat. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect them and alleviate their pain, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them in this world, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them in the hereafter. Now, my brothers and elders, please allow me to share with you the story. It's a very interesting story, especially for those of you who are married. You will understand why. Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah was actually the teacher of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah. So amongst the 4 Imams, the most senior one is who? Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, then Imam Malik, then Imam al-Shafi'i, then Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah. The age gap between Imam al-Shafi'i and Imam Ahmad was about 14 to 16 years. It was about 14 to 16 years. Now, upon an occasion, Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala visited Imam Ahmad, and I will share with you an entire series in regards to Imam Ahmad, but let's now focus on Imam al-Shafi'i. And this is mentioned in Fathul Bari, which is actually a commentary of Al-Bukhari written by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahimahullah ta'ala. So Imam al-Shafi'i visited who? Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. And they both ate, and Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah now is spending the night at the house of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, and he goes into the guest room. And the wife of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah, she's watching and observing the actions and the doings of who? Of Imam al-Shafi'i. She goes to Imam Ahmad and she says that, "Oh, my beloved husband, is this the great Imam that you've been describing to me? Who's actually your ustaz, your Shaykh? Who's the talk of the town?" Imam Ahmad said, "Yes, he's Imam al-Shafi'i. Well, I criticize him in 3 areas. I observed him, but I am criticizing him in 3 areas. Maybe he's not, I'm not saying she said this, but it's probably going in her mind that maybe he's not as pious as how you described him to be. Or maybe you or the people are over-exaggerating. But now I have witnessed him and experienced him since he's living with us in our house." So she said that when we served him food, he ate plenty until he became full. He just kept on eating. The second area in which I criticize him, right, just like how sometimes when the guests go, what do the women say? That they didn't even leave anything for us. They ate everything and they left. Now the second one, when he went to the guest room, I noticed that he did not perform tahajjud salah. What type of imam and a shaykh is he? I was waiting for him that maybe he will stand and recite the Quran loudly, stand in tahajjud salah throughout the entire night, but he didn't even pray salatul tahajjud. The third one, she says, lastly, when he prayed salatul fajr, he prayed without wudu. When he performed salatul fajr, he prayed without wudu. So she's expressing her concern to her husband in private, saying that, is this really the imam? Maybe this might be someone else, or maybe, he's acting as if he's that pious outside, but in reality, he's probably not that pious. So the husband and wife are having a conversation, just like how everyone sitting here has a conversation with his wife, right? And they share each other's secrets. Whatever is in the heart, they share it with each other without thinking about the consequences. That's the relationship between a husband and a wife, but it is kept between the both of them. But Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah could not hold himself, and he approached Imam Shafi'i the following day, and he said to him that in these three areas, my wife has criticized you. Just so that shaitan can be out of the equation, I would like to hear the answer from your mouth. So he says that when I ate plenty, it was because I knew that the food that you have given me is 100% halal, and I trust you blindly when it comes to this. I knew it. It's not from any haram income or any haram sources. I knew 100% that it is halal. So therefore Allah mentions in the Quran, Kulu washrabu, eat and drink, wala tusrifu, and do not exceed your limit when it comes to spending on food and eating. So therefore, keeping that verse in mind, Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala then said that I did not eat until I became full, even though I ate plenty. But that plenty was not enough for me to be full. That's number one. The answer to her second objection, he says, that when I went to the guest room, I did not perform Salatul Tahajjud because I saw the Quran copy that you had kept there for the guest. So when I picked up the Quran and I started to think about the verses of Allah Azza wa Jal, I did not even realize that the time for Fajr has entered. I did not even realize that the time for Fajr Salah has entered. And then he said to Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal that sit, let's discuss, because last night when I was deeply thinking about these verses of the Quran, I was able to extract 72 verdicts. Al-Masail. I was able to extract 72 Masail last night just because I was thinking about the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now you can only imagine that the man didn't even realize that the time for Fajr has come. How deeply was he pondering over the verses of the Quran, right? These were our great ai''mmah. He says that lastly, I did perform Salatul Fajr, but when I performed Salatul Fajr, it was with the same wudu of Salatul Isha. I never slept, I never broke my wudu, so I did not need to make wudu. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability and the tawfiq to act upon whatever was just said. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi